Modern men are high on presence and low on power. You've mastered stillness but can't move your life an inch. You meditate, journal, visualize, but you're still broke, brandless, and soft. Here's why you're not moving and how law forces you in motion. If you're tired of fake progress and ready to weaponize your structure, start with the unruly blueprint. It's 987. Law, content, and cash flow. No bullshit. The link is in the description below. A lot of us understand and think that if we stay still long enough or meditate or journal or self-improve or find ourselves mastery, we're going to just inevitably have all the riches, all the women, all the power, all the respect that we desire. That couldn't be the truth. So let me give you the breakdown step by step. Meditation is for the weak. You are not a strong man if you are sitting here still with no movement. You have mastered meditation. It's time to move, right? Stillness. So point one, stillness is not strength. Most meditate to avoid action, not preparation. You're not meditating to prepare. You're not. You're just sitting here doing the same, sitting there, closing your eyes, doing all sorts of things, thinking that you're progressing yourself. You're not progressing if you're not moving. Don't forget, if the physical and the spiritual realm are connected, that means while you're doing the spiritual shit and getting yourself through the spiritual hurdles, to get the abundance that you've now built in the spiritual realm, you have to now bring it to the material. How the fuck do you get what you got in the spiritual to the material? You must move. You must move. You have to move in the material world. That's the only way you get the material. The fuck? Like, you can't just think and visualize and then it's just going to happen. No, it has to be then acted out through your movement in the physical world. Hello. So once you get through that understanding, you have to then know that the movement isn't just going to happen without any sort of hurdles. You're going to go through hurdles. Just like how you have to dissect yourself, understand your wounds, get over them, right? And deal with your traumas, deal with your ego, go through all of these things through life. Yes, you're going to have to do the same shit in the material. You think your goal is just going to be thought and then visualized into the material as you move towards it? No, when you move towards it, you're going to get an equal and opposite reaction back at you of resistance. And a lot of you are finding, let me find the path of least resistance. Well, guess what, bucko? Let me be the first to tell you. Every path has resistance. Every fucking path has resistance. You don't just get what you want because you thought you think you want it. You don't just get the girl because you find her attractive. You don't just get the money because you have a skill. What the fuck? You have to go through hurdles, objections, hardship, downfalls. And even when you get a piece of it, you might lose it. Like I said in another video, you can go 10 steps forward, right? Get hit 12 steps back. And now you got to move 14 to get 2 steps ahead of where you were before. Come on. You're going to have to deal with hurdles. And if you can't deal with that up and down rhythm of life, you're going to be shattered, bro. So look here, right here, I'm doing all the meditation, right? I'm small. I'm working at Coke. I'm trying to do shit. And of course, these pictures aren't, if you've been following my story, these pictures aren't all taken at the same time, but it's the same thing that I've been doing since before Coke, right? So I'm meditating, I'm still journaling, I'm working my 9 to 5, trying to figure a fucking route out, right? But I'm not realizing one key factor, that one, I must move with accuracy, and two, that there's going to be hurdles along the way that are going to try to stop me from going after my goal. Okay, cool. So I'm sitting there like, fuck, I need to work out. I need to read. I need to meditate. I need to do all these things, ground myself, all fine, whatever. But that's not in preparation for the material work I'm going to have to do. That's just spiritual work, breaking through all the realm or breaking through all the hurdles that may pop up within my personality. So I'm finding my identity, but I'm not executing I'm not executing on it in the physical realm. So therefore I'm not getting the materials that I'm looking to get. Right? And so stillness becomes a coping mechanism for cowards. So I was at Coke for 1.5 years, and you've probably been at your 9 to 5 for some time now too, right? College was all rah, rah. Ooh, yes. Fun times, fuck bitches, right? Get your little money in from your little job, your little college job. We're gonna party, right? Get through the work week and party. If you're an athlete like myself, ooh, we're gonna go to these parties with the whole team and we're gonna have a great time. And so you get into this mental routine that college gave you, but you're under a safe bubble. College is a bubble. Right? And a lot of you don't even understand how to pop that bubble once you leave college. And therefore you enter the life still thinking you're in a bubble, still taking on that innocent identity of, oh, I'm just new to life because I'm still in my 20s and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You don't need to have everything figured out, but you need to realize that you are a man and you have to figure this shit out, right? Because you're going up against other men. You're now in a place of competition. And a lot of you retreat to this bubble because you're a coward. And it copes. It's a coping mechanism. I'm young. I don't know where I want to go just yet. I don't know how to monetize my skills. I don't know. Fair point. But you cannot stay in this fucking bubble for your lifetime. Right? So you just sit there and then you think that, okay, let me follow these spiritual gurus who make it easy for me to do the things and put me in a mental trance to think that I can get what I actually want just by thinking about it. Yeah, let's see how that fucking works for you long term. You don't just say Om and fucking go into this spiritual realm and then somehow you wake up a millionaire. That's what the fuck are we talking about? That is not how this shit works. You have to now test everything that you've been preparing yourself for in the spiritual and now prep yourself in the physical and then take action. Okay, cool. So law is internal silence, which a lot of you may understand. And if you haven't gotten over or gotten into mental or internal silence, that's okay. That is perfectly fine. The reason I make these videos are usually for both people who have mastered internal silence and it's time to execute, along with the people who don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. So it's okay. Internal silence, you just need to work on yourself. But I want you to also understand that to get the material things that you are looking to get within this world, sex, power, respect, all of those things, right? All of the opportunities you are looking for, you have to execute in the external. So law is an internal silence. At the top of the helm for the law is mentalism, then correspondence, then vibration, then polarity, then rhythm, then cause and effect, then gender, right? In that order. So once you start to understand those and find a ideal goal that you want for your life, right? So I always say, find a goal that's deeper than your lifetime. That has to be given to your generation, almost like a baton. It has to be passed on. Find a goal that is that big that when you go after it, you have to have it so deeply ingrained into your system that you have to then ingrain it into your family for that shit to continue working, right? And so your law is all of those laws focused on that one goal and you making the internal silence so that you don't have any disruption internally as you go towards that goal. But then it also then means the external that you have to execute now, right? But that silence for some of you, a lot of that internal silence that a lot of you are going through is not building. A lot of you get stuck in this hiding position where you see the exit. You see all of the material things that you want. You see a pathway, but you see that it requires a lot of fucking maneuvering, a lot of changing the way that your habits are done, right? So a lot of you, especially men, we love to work out. We love to work out, but there's an overemphasis on working out. And that's why a lot of you stay where you are, because you think working out brings the money, because that gives you the exhaustion that your body feels when you actually move. So you're moving your body in all the right ways, but you're overemphasizing your physique. Yes, you need a physique to improve your odds of getting to your goal, but working out is not going to bring your goal any closer, right? So you see the exit and you see the hurdles, but you don't walk up to the hurdles to see what they are. You just think that the movement that you're doing right now in your current routine, and you got all these fuckers on social media putting their face in fucking ice buckets or bowls, and got you thinking that once you do this routine over and over and over, you're going to have all the cars, all the women, the high life. That's not how this shit works, bro. I promise you. There is a structure fortified by discipline and a key focus on law, whether they realize it or not, that they are executing every single day to get to their goals. And a lot of it has to deal with getting over hurdles on a day-to-day basis. Okay, cool. So you see, as you see here, I have to make videos. Right? I have to make videos to explain this to achieve my goal. It's a part of my overarching goal for my life. Whatever it is for you, you have to go do that, right? So I'm executing. But again, similar to finding out that you have hurdles, you get caught by women. You see it right there, right? And so women are softness. And like we said before in multiple other videos, when you find women are very soft, loving, right? Nurturing. And when you polarize yourself to the masculine edge, women will then fully polarize themselves over into their feminine. And so now it's not only a game of how much can you keep your discipline structured so that you don't lose the feminine, but now it's also how do I not seep too far into the feminine softness that I'm attracting while also focusing on my goal. So, and that's what a lot of you do. You find that internal softness, then a woman comes around because you've now fully turned yourself into a masculine man because you're working on the internals. They see that, they feel the energy, they introduce themselves to you, or you introduce yourself to them, and now they've taken you hostage. And then you lose yourself, and then you lose the goal because you're not executing externally, you're just working on internal. Come on now, it's a deeper structure. If you're watching this and not making content, you've already lost the algorithmic war. The men who win in 2025 are the ones building with law. Tap into the blueprint and stack the scrolls. Link in the description below. So the softness spectrum, that's a big one. A lot of you have routine without responsibility, and that's disguised passivity. So you have this routine of doing all the shit that you need to get done every single day. Going to the gym too long, writing down and planning too long, thinking about all the objections that you're going to get and how to overcome them, instead of just throwing yourself into the mix and figuring out how to jump along the way. The hurdles are going to come regardless and you'll jump over them, right? So you have to figure out that not only do you need to work on a routine that helps you plan, ground yourself, and find silence, but then turns into execution, regardless or not if you're ready. Because if not, and you're only doing the planning piece, it's gonna just be passivity, right? And you're gonna tell everybody your goals, and then your mind is gonna do this weird thing where when you tell people and speak your goals out of your mouth, they don't come into fruition because it gives you the satisfaction of hearing it and the chemical release that, okay, cool, I have the dopamine now of finishing my goal because I'm speaking it out loud to others as if I've attained it when you haven't done shit. You're just a passive weak man, but we can continue. So journaling, breathwork, and prayer are useful, but only if they produce movement. As you see here, I'm journaling about when I dropped down to $28,000. Bro, I'm journaling all about it. I'm like, fuck, I'm losing my ground. Right? And I'm talking through journaling. I buy these fucking wooden sticks to burn. Thinking that, ooh, if I burn these shits around me, I'm gonna get what I want. The fuck are we talking about? Sage. Also, same shit. Burning. Woohoo! I'm getting all the fucking work done because I'm burning all these material things and it's bringing me into the spiritual realm. And the spiritual realm is gonna give me everything I want. Forgetting that I must actually move. I can't just sit in the fucking room and do my meditations. It doesn't work that way. And the second I then paired both to working out, journaling, burning these things, cool, I'm still burning. Hey, I'm burning them. But then I'm taking action. And so I had this habitual thing of now burning all of the tools, the spiritual tools, and then connecting them to movement. So when I meditate, I connect it to moving. When I burn sage, I connect it to moving. When I burn a candle, I connect it to moving. So that it triggers something in my brain to know that as soon as you burn something and you do your little spiritual hacks, quote unquote, you now have to move. You have no choice but to move because now you're rewiring your brain to understand once you trigger this thing, this other thing must trigger. So if you have a spiritual hack that you use, right, that's keeping the silence base of law inside of your structure, okay, good, but then couple it with movement. So then when you do the hack, it then is like a domino and it forces you to then do the actual movement. And when you don't do it, you feel weird. And then you remember, oh shit, I must do this. It's the same thing when you go to the gym and then for maybe a day or two, you miss the gym and it feels like Your life is in chaos because you broke routine and you broke the habit stack that you're usually used to, right? So when you travel and you change your environments and you're not following your routine, you feel a bit off, right? That offness is because all of those habits that you do on a daily basis are linked to some degree. So when you don't do them, your body is then telling you like, fuck, you're not doing something. So just apply that same framework here where it's okay, cool. I have a spiritual hack. Let me follow it up with movement within the material world, right? So then polarity, because once you start to do these things, you're shifting yourself on the polarity scale. You're also using all the laws of the realm to get what you want. But polarity is earned. You can't just magnetize women or wealth from a state of floating. So here again, you see, women are all around me once I finally decide that I'm going to match my spiritual work with movement in the physical, and now I'm actually getting the outcomes that I'm looking for. Women start to come around, money comes around crazy, right? Because now you're also, your vibration is on 1,000 and it's attracting your goal to you. And this is what they talk about manifestation, right? It starts to attract to you because now you're doing the spiritual work and you're moving towards your goal. Oh shit. Now you're powerful. You've gotten rid of all the distractions, and now all of the things that are required for you to get to your goal start to come to you, and you'll start to see a lot of money, and you'll start to see a lot of fucking women, right? And this is on a monthly basis. And that's where you have to also make sure that you're structured. Because again, when you are structured, the money has somewhere to go, and then you can distribute it out within your business so that your business continues to run. And then you also can do the things that life is about, experience life, right? To then further your brand, further your message, further your goal. So don't get caught up in the softness or the abundance without having a full structure. And this is why I said structure plus cash flow. It can't just be structure, because then you don't get anything and you have respect, but you don't have any money. And then if you just have cash flow but no structure, you end up losing the money that you work so hard for through leaks like women. Because they're gonna come, bro. I promise you, they come. And if you want direct structure from me, the one-on-one law guidance call is open. No therapy, no small talk, just correction, alignment, and execution. You can apply in the description below. From there, law moves. As we've said, law is all about movement. You must move. You have no choice but to move. Law velocity. It either collapses or it constructs, right? And so as you go on to your goal, you're going to find that these hurdles are forcing you into a place of self-mastery. Like you have no choice. And that's why I love capitalism so much, because it forces you to start to understand yourself, start to understand the psyche of humans, right? The patterns and the dysfunctions. And the better you are at rewiring those understandings, the better you will be with people, the better you will be with money, the better you will be with yourself. Because the faster you start to understand your own psychology, your own mishaps, and your strengths and your weaknesses, and we've talked about this before, where when you find a weakness, you should work on that over your strength, because your strengths just come naturally. So when you start to figure yourself out, and you can then identify all the things that you need help with and the patterns that you do, the self-sabotaging ways that you do when you're about to ascend, you can then halt them and say, fuck that. I choose growth. I choose my higher self. I choose law. Because now you're moving into a place of construction, of building, and not collapse, because the hurdles are difficult. And if you trip on a hurdle, you're going to fall, right? And a lot of you will fall in entrepreneurship, fall in content branding, fall when it comes to your business venture, fall even when you're in your 9-to-5 trying to build your business. And then once you fall, you realize, oh shit, I don't like jumping over hurdles. This shit is scary. I don't know if I can go to the next one. You fucking back out and you go back up to that softness that we talked about. You end up going into softness, but you also then become just still and you stay in meditation because it worked for you before, when realistically it wasn't fucking working in the first place, right? So, but anyways, we move on. So when your discipline builds momentum, manifestation then becomes mechanical. Again, when you start to think and say, fuck, here are all the things that I need to do, and I'm meditating and I'm doing the things I need to do, right? And I'm doing the spiritual work. I'm habit stacking with my hacks along with my movement. Now it's like, it's just within your routine. It's within your body. Now manifestation, everything starts to come to you and you're like, whoa, whoa, how did that happen? And then it'll continue to happen. And you're like, okay, cool. Let me test some things out. Let me stop doing this because let me entertain the softness, right? Because I've done it. You can now train or test what's going on by, if you stop doing a habit that was bringing you money. So that means you were doing your meditations and then you were following it up with movement. Try then just doing your meditations and see what happens to the money. It slows up, right? Because you then get consumed by softness. Think about it. They have to always be in motion because it's just like a gear in a system, right? Systems require movement. And so when you start to build momentum, it'll start to just happen on its own. But the second you take a gear out, which is just a habit, you're going to realize that the system no longer works. Therefore, manifestation no longer works. And then you won't see the results you're looking for. So then once you see that the manifestation is now mechanical, you need to know that you don't need any more healing. And content is your proof. You need obedience to your structure. So once you build the system and you build the structure to have, so here, as you see, I'm working at my 9 to 5. I'm reading things about money. I'm working out still. And then I'm also working on the clients that I have, right? Because in the beginning, you don't just go from 0 to 1,000. No, you go from like 0 to 500. And you have to continue to work the structure. And that requires obedience to the structure. So when I fully committed myself to the structure, taking my spiritual realm and my physical realm and putting them together and committing myself to it, what then happens? You get the life that you're looking for. I can golf on a regular Tuesday. I could golf whenever the fuck I want to golf, right? I then also know how to speak to other people when I meet them because I've understood the patterns of human psychology. Okay, cool. I've also have the money to afford the lifestyle I'm looking to have. I get put around people that are also living the life that I have, but I'm also still working and doing the things that I know will achieve the goal, which is just law. So I'm staying and polarizing myself on the right side that is aligned with my goal all the time, because then it gives me everything that I'm asking for because I was obedient to the structure. And then content is simply, I now understand over the years that if you have content, it now amplifies you 10 times because it doesn't matter about your following. Can you do it in real life or not? Because those that just worry about the following, it's all about the wallpaper. Like we said in yesterday's video, they're wallpaper. They're weak men. They only operate well when they're on socials. They have no habit stack. They have no ability to show you how to actually do it because they never have. It's just about the attention. They don't know how to garnish the cash flow from the attention because they have no structure. They have no system. Systems are done by having gears overlap all over the place in different sectors of your life that then can create a machine to then manifest the things that you want. And that is a lawful structure fortified by the disciplines that you're given as a masculine man. Right? And then you get what you want. And now you can just amplify yourself by continuing to create content around your life. And this is why I tell you, if you haven't started to build content in this realm, you're losing because we're in a digital age. Everything is about content. And now that AI is in, it's been no easier to build business around content, but it also hasn't been harder because the distractions are 10 times harder, right? It goes deep. Your life could either, again, collapse or construct. You either can make the money and get all the women, or you will fall to the fucking algorithms and do fuckery and just sedate yourself with dopamine and find yourself in dopamine loops. Right? So you have to be careful. You have to be careful. And so your closing decree. You were not born to be balanced. You were born to build. The world is collapsing because men stopped moving. So get up, build, speak, and lead. Obey the law or stay spiritually neutered. Consider yourself warned.